So you brought up right away a term I think you want to, I know I want to explore a little bit more, is that co-divisional. What does that mean? What does that mean for the school, for the students, and for the community?
Yeah, so when you say the word co-divisional, it's an interesting term, right? You've got co together and then divisional, which is separate. And that pretty much describes Malden Catholic. We were an all-boys school for many years. As you know, where the school was originally located on Highland Avenue, real close to what was called Girls Catholic, which closed in 1992. And then when we moved here in 1968, we enjoyed many years as an all-male school. And then about 6, 7 years ago, the board started asking some questions. Should we have a middle school? Should we add girls? And it was decided, looking at Catholic education on the North Shore, there weren't very many opportunities for all girls education. And since we had this close relationship with Girls Catholic years ago, could we reimagine Girls Catholic here at MC? And so what they did is they were able to take some areas of the building that had formerly been used by the brothers, Zavarian Brothers, because we're a Zavarian Brothers sponsored school, and recreate them into classrooms. And so we moved the boys to one half of the building and girls to the other half of the building. So if you come here during the school day, every class is either all boys or all girls. Our lunches, there's 4 of them, 2 boys' lunches, 2 girls' lunches. So we're almost like 2 schools. We call them 2 divisions because we try to make sure we're one school. And that's been one of the challenges when I first arrived, to really create that culture. And it's been very successful. I mean, our enrollment numbers have just really gone through the roof, both in the boys division and the girls division. So we're a co-divisional school. I invite you anytime to come visit because it's really something special.
I love that. Like when you said you came in, it was like it's a challenge and you're trying to create a culture. Can you describe what that culture is like and
Sure.
how you developed that?
Yeah. So when I arrived, we had 2 principals, a girls principal and a boys principal, very talented, both of them. But when you have faculty having 2 faculty meetings a month, and you have teachers teaching English 1 on the boys' side with a different curriculum than the girls' side, it becomes very challenging. And though you don't mean to, it can become almost like you're working at 2 different schools. And so we moved to a 1 principal model, and the student council developed a theme at the end of my first year based upon a Bible verse. And the Bible verse was from the book of Philippians, which talks about unity. And it was united in spirit, intent on one purpose. And we embraced that. And since we moved to that model, so much has changed to create a community where the boys and girls before school and after school visit, they know each other. But then it's like once school starts, they go to their separate sides and accomplish their tasks. And we call it a culture with the best of both worlds. You've got the single gender education with less distraction, teachers able to tailor to the needs of young men and young women. But then at the same time, the social elements of being together as boys and girls. And like I said, I think it's something pretty special.
I like that you talked about really caring for like the teachers and making sure the teachers are not like overall like double the meetings and stuff, and then also getting input from the students, which is like I think that's really spectacular. And then also just drawing in faith from that and like having them create like a mission statement. I think that's really, really cool. Like what else? Because I was a teacher before, and being a teacher has been very difficult a lot of times to get support and help. How else have you worked with developing a better culture for teachers, in addition to minimizing like meetings and stuff?
No, that's a great question, Kevin, because you take a school when I arrived that had around 560 students, and next year it'll probably have somewhere around 860 students. That's tremendous growth, new faculty, a lot of changes. And as you know, you've got to have the entire organization, especially teachers, on board. And so what we did is we brought back what's called the Faculty Staff Advisory Board, where they meet several times during the year without administration. And they really make a list of concerns. And then they meet with myself and then the principal. And we keep this dialogue going, if it be class size, teachers, discipline is always something to be discussed. And other things like that. We keep a very open, transparent dialogue going. And as you know, Kevin, any school, there's always challenges. You're never going to get it perfect. But at least we know that we can talk to each other and work together to solve problems. And this spring, we did a faculty staff satisfaction survey that was anonymous. And it really echoed many of the things that we hear in the advisory board as well, that we're addressing and working with our faculty. Our faculty also, we started some social events. I know it sounds simple, but during the pandemic, it was very difficult to get together as a group and really get to know each other. So we brought that back as well. And this happens to be Faculty Appreciation or Teacher Appreciation Week. So we have anything from dress down days to free lunch to breakfast to gift cards at Fresco's down the street, which they all love. So, we just keep honoring and valuing them and listening to their voice to work together.
And Fresco's is a longtime Chamber of Commerce member as well. So they've been a great sponsor as well.
Yep.
That is really cool. How do you compare, or what schools are similar to your format? Or is there a school similar to your format in the country? And if there are, do you look to them as guidance or, kind of brainstorming best practices? Or are you one of the few?
No, when we went to go to the co-divisional model, there's a school in Colorado, Regis, who is a co-divisional school. And so we visited, this is before my time, but a team visited that school to kind of lay the groundwork. And then I touched base with the head of school there several times. Challenges like we moved to one principal model, how to do graduation, all those things that, when we're coming up on them, we check in with them to see what they've learned. How do they do their campus ministry? But the question of how many there are, I think there's less than 5 like us across the nation. I have my communications director here too. Diane, is that right?
There's only 3 others.
3 others. 3 others.
Oh, okay. So very small space.
Yep.